In this video, we're going to look at factorising some of the most complicated quadratics we'll see. These are ones that have the form 4x squared minus 4x minus 3. Now the difference here with the last ones we looked at is that the number multiplying the x squared can be split in more than one way. So the ones we looked at previously had 2 or 3 multiplying the x squared. So we had to have 3x in one bracket and x in the other. But in this one, to get 4x squared, we could have 2x and 2x, or we could have 4x and x. And we have to consider both possibilities. So we've got two possibilities for our two sets of brackets. We could have 2x and 2x, or we could have 4x and 1x. Both of these would give us the possibility of having 4x squared. We do still know that we have a minus 3 at the end, which means the two numbers must be either minus 1 and 3 or 1 and minus 3. So now we have to just try these in the different options. If we try minus 1 and plus 3, then we get 12x minus x, and that's not going to work, so it's not that. If we tried plus 3 and minus 1, we get minus 4x plus 3x is minus x, and that one doesn't work either. If we tried minus 3 and plus 1, we get 4x minus 3 gives us plus x, so that one doesn't work. And if we tried, I think it was plus 1 and minus 3, then we get minus 12 plus 1x, so that doesn't work. So we've tried all four possibilities in the 4x x one, and none of them worked in that one. So now let's try in the 2x one. Now as these both have 2x in them, we only need to try the difference between the minus 1 and minus 3 and the 1 and minus 3. We don't need to worry about which bracket it goes with. So if we try minus 1 and plus 3, we get 6x minus 2x, well, that gives us 4x, but we want minus 4x. So we need to try the other way around, so it's plus 1 and minus 3, and now we get minus 6x plus 2x does indeed give us the minus 4x we need. And just to check, we get 2x times 2x is 4x squared, minus 6x plus 2x is minus 4x, minus 3. So this is indeed the correct factorization for 4x squared minus 4x minus 3. Now let's look at another example. This one is 6x squared plus x minus 12. Again, for 6x squared, there are two possible pairs of brackets we could have. We could either have 6x and x, or we could have 3x and 2x to give us 6x squared. Also, this one is a bit more complicated because minus 12 can be made in lots of different ways. It could be minus 1 and 12, 1 and minus 12, minus 2 and 6, 2 and minus 6, or minus 3 and 4, and 3 and minus 4. So there's 6 different possibilities we need to try. Each one we need to think about how it would pair up with the 6 and the x, or the 3 and the 2. So there's 12 different things we need to try in each pair of brackets. That's 24 in total. So we don't want to have to try all of them, so we're going to use a little bit of common sense. Now if we're trying to get just a plus x in the middle, we need the two numbers to be fairly close to each other. So 6 times 12 and 1 is definitely not going to work. And 6 times 1 and 12 is only going to give us 6, so that's not going to work. 6 times 6 is going to be 36, is too big. 6 times 2 would be 12, but that doesn't combine with 6 to give us 1. 6 times 3 would be 18, too big. 6 times 4 would be 24, which is also too big. So we can safely say that it's not going to be any of those, because they would all give too big values to give us just a plus x. So now let's consider the 3x and the 2x options. Again, we want there to be just a difference of 1 to get this plus x in here. If one of them was 12, we're either going to get 3 times 12 is 36, or 2 times 12 is 24, neither of which are close to the plus 1x, so they're not going to be useful. 3 times 6 would be 18, or 3, and that would not work. 2 times 6 would be 12, and again, we can't get to 1 with either of those. So we're left now with just the minus 3 and the 4 to work out which one we're going to use. So if we do 3 times 4, we get 12, and 2 times 3, we get 6. So that's not going to work. So we're going to need to do the 3 times the 3 for 9, and the 2 times the 4 for 8. Now they have a difference of 1. So 3 times 3 and 2 times 4 gives us the difference of 1. We want plus x, so we're going to need to have the 9x to be positive. So the 3 times 3 to give us plus 9x, and the 2 times minus 4 to give us minus 8x. Now we check. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times 3 is 9x. Minus 4 times 2x, that's 8x, so 9x minus 8x is just an x. And minus 4 times plus 3 is indeed equal to minus 12. So for examples like this, where we have a number multiplying x squared that can be split in different ways, we have to consider the different possibilities. But in many cases, there are some which definitely won't work, and we can eliminate them fairly quickly to narrow the search for which ones we should be trying in the different positions within the brackets.